Power Book 4, Force, Episode 8 hits like a bullet with no name. The tension that's been brewing all season finally explodes, and there's no turning back for anyone. Every lie, betrayal, and move made in the shadows now steps into the light, and the consequences are devastating. This is more than just another episode. This is where war officially begins. Bombed Jenard, past the point of no return. Jenard is fully unhinged now. Whatever shred of control or loyalty he had left, gone. This episode shows a version of Jenard we've never seen before, dangerous, desperate, and unpredictable. He's making reckless choices, acting out of fear and pride, and burning every bridge in sight. He's not thinking strategy anymore. He's reacting from emotion, betrayal from Shanti, loss of power, paranoia from all sides. And the result is explosive. Episode 8 makes one thing very clear. Jenard is ready to go out in flames if that's what it takes. Brain Shanti, still pulling strings. Or losing grip, Shanti is now feeling the pressure. In Episode 8, her power play starts to show cracks. The manipulation, the control, it's slipping. She's still dangerous, still sharp, but for the first time, you can see her scrambling to stay ahead of the chaos. Her dynamic with Jenard is toxic, fiery, and unstable. Their scenes this episode feel like two people dancing on a minefield. We don't know who's going to explode first, but it's coming, and when it does, it's not going to be clean. Fire Tommy, a man surrounded by enemies. Tommy is the one caught in the middle of this spiraling war. Episode 8 puts him under intense pressure, and for once, even he seems unsure how to get out clean. Old alliances are crumbling, new threats are rising, and Tommy's margin for error is razor thin. One wrong move, and it's over. That's how this episode feels for him. But make no mistake, Tommy is still Tommy. And when his back is against the wall, that's when he becomes the most lethal. Episode 8 shows us that he's ready for whatever comes next, even if it means going completely nuclear. Drop of Blood Diamond, the quiet storm Diamond, is moving like a man who knows he's out of time. You can feel it in how he talks, how he watches the people around him. He's calculating every angle, but you can also tell he's tired. Tired of the games, the betrayal, the constant threat. He doesn't want war. But if it's coming, he'll fight it on his terms. And that makes him even more dangerous. Performing arts themes of Episode 8. Trust is dead. Everyone's lying, and the ones trying to survive are now forced to become killers or corpses. This episode isn't just about explosions or gunshots, it's about the psychological pressure. No one is thinking clearly, and that's exactly when the most damage gets done. Char decreasing. The fallout begins by the end of Episode 8. The board has been flipped over. People who were allies are now enemies. Characters once in control are now spiraling, and some people may not survive what's coming next. This episode isn't the climax. It's the ignition. The final 2 episodes are going to be war, and Episode 8 just lit the first match. Firecracker Final Verdict. Power Book 4, Force Season 3 Episode 8 is explosive, emotional, and relentless. It breaks characters down, sets fire to everything we thought was stable, and delivers one of the most intense setups the Power universe has seen. If you thought the season had been slow, this is your wake-up call. The violence is coming, and no one is walking away clean. Power Book 4, Force Season 3, Episode 8 cements the STARZ drama's downward spiral to hell. Of course, Build Back Better has to spend its time establishing the new status quo. The writers can't do something as major as divide Tommy and Diamond and just move past it. There are repercussions everywhere, and that's what this episode covers. But like all of the Force characters, this script isn't satisfied. It then has to make things even worse. First, there's the obvious. Tommy's split with Diamond cements Diamond and Jenard as the new villains of the piece. Diamond's behavior in this episode proves there's really no way for the viewers to keep rooting for him. All he cares about anymore is himself. The biggest example of this is when he tells Jenard to just do what he's being told to do. It's clear that he sees Jenard as second to him, even while Diamond complains about having been second to Tommy. In fairness to Diamond, Jenard's behavior in Episode 8 proves that Jenard isn't fit to manage a paper bag. But Diamond Sampson's heel turn has fully happened, and it is massive to behold. The knock-on effect of that is that Tommy's two biggest enemies in the Force Season 3 premiere are now his two most important allies. Shanti in particular takes a deserved step forward as Tommy's new partner, and it's no surprise that Tommy ends up aligned with Miguel, given that the two now have a family connection. It feels like Build Back Better is partly constructed to illustrate why Tommy and Miguel become a team, and in that sense it's successful. The outcome may be obvious, but the audience still knows it's the right thing for them to do. But the rest of the episode is the embodiment of the phrase, every man for himself. People are making single-minded moves, some of which border on stupid, most notably Kendra showing up to tell Diamond she is leaving the coalition, which is the power equivalent of telling the killer you're going to the cops. Stacy Mark's murder has caused everyone to panic and start selling each other out or trying to one-up each other as fast as possible. Vic Flynn, for example, confronts Tommy only to get himself arrested by Stacy's husband Bobby, who himself threatens Tommy on the way out. If one took a shot for every time Tommy Egan was threatened in this episode, one would end it slightly tipsy. The MVP of Episode 8 is Anthony Fleming as JP Gibbs. Once JP learns that Jenard tried to have Dmac killed, he goes against Tommy's advice and roughs up Jenard. As soon as this happens, Power Book 4. Force viewers know that JP is not long for the world. Anyone who does what they're explicitly told not to do usually isn't. But it's still an emotional moment to see JP stand up for his son, doubly so because Jenard needs someone to bring him down a notch. And even in his death scene as Jenard and King Kilo threaten him, JP maintains his dignity and his loyalty. His murder by Jenard is another clear sign that Force is coming to an end. Because Tommy Egan's story is incomplete without his brother, there are some other startling moments, such as Maria having to run over the Marquez cartel hitman with a car, multiple times, and then the cliffhanger ending of Jenard killing JP, Kilo, and Kilo's henchman Jojo. For crime drama fans, seeing Chicago PD alum LaRoyce Hawkins clearly on the other side of the law never stops being a trip. Jenard being a loose cannon is the best example of how everyone is scattered with their own goals. Build Back Better actually breaks things down even further, and that makes it more dramatic because the audience doesn't really know where to turn. The only thing they understand is to follow Tommy, who is on his own again, just like he was when he came to Chicago. Another One Chicago alum also deserves a shout-out here. Former Chicago Fire star Monica Raymond directs this episode, and she does what a lot of series forget to do, make scenes in the dark actually watchable. Several key moments happen outside at night, and it's a big help to the story that the audience can actually see what's happening and how the actors react. Raymond has built up an impressive directing resume over the last several years, and her sharp eye is on full display here. Build Back Better functionally has one job: to set up the new ground rules for Power Book 4, Force. It has to show the effects of Tommy and Diamond parting ways, and give a plausible explanation for why that sends Tommy into business with Miguel. And it does both those things clearly. Yet what makes the episode truly work is the emotional stakes that are built in. This isn't just an escalation of the plot, it's a level up in the emotional sense, too. Joseph Sikora's reaction shot as Tommy hears JP's death encapsulates the whole episode. There's very little left to lose, and very little loyalty, and that unpredictability makes the show feel that much more intense. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.